And we're live. Hi everyone, this is Amateur Gamer, and number return to Civ 5 Vox Populi. We have another beta coming out. Once again, I'm a bit late, but I blame it on real life, okay? So, this is the January 11th version, and there are some very interesting changes, and I'm like, did my game just crash? Because that would be really bad, because my laptop takes forever to load. So we have quite a few things, in addition to fixes. I'm actually using the hotfix. Major performance improvements, AI diplomacy, which is still being tinkered, still being polished. It kind of leans in one direction or the other, but I'm hoping it will get better. Next one. So first, we have the Warmonger Model. So for those of you who don't know, before if you take a city, you get Warmonger penalty. Okay, so from what I know, if you declare war, if you take a city, you get Warmonger penalty. And what happens is your opponents will actually get these anti-Warmonger bonuses. And if you take enough, your enemies will actually be so strong because they get such a big bonus that what is normally an easy enemy to deal with suddenly becomes really hard to manage because they have a huge bonus. So right now, that system has been changed a bit so that when you are... So they're making a smaller scale. So what happens is now Warmonger is a bit less punitive. So what happens is before, if you take any city, it doesn't even have to be the capital. It could be any city and you'll get quite a bit of Warmonger penalty and they'll get anti-Warmonger bonuses. But now you get less for mediocre cities and you burn it off faster. So what ends up happening is, unless you take large cities or the capital, you won't get penalized as much. And I like that, because it's kind of ridiculous that you take one city, suddenly all your enemies are really hard to beat. And they hit you extremely hard, and you're like, what the heck? And in addition to that, now the anti-Warmonger bonus is less, caps a bit earlier, and burns off faster. So overall, that just makes it so that if you take small cities, you won't get penalized as much. If you take large cities, then yes, you should be penalized, because now, you know, your enemies get a lot of bonuses. And on higher difficulties, which is like Immortal, which I play on, yeah, those bonuses start stacking up and you could really feel it. And apparently there's also revision to the trading. So Great Works, I can't remember. No, I think it was 2 patches ago where the AI no longer trade Great Works. They don't, like, if they can use their Great Works, they basically don't trade it, which almost means they never trade anything, which makes theming extremely hard. Now they're more likely to trade, but I'm still doubtful about that. I just wish the theming bonus can change, but I can understand what the devs are like. We don't want to fix all of that. It's understandable. Anyways, next, cities. Oh, this is a huge one. It's still on debate. Like, people are still debating, and the change made in this patch is kind of broken, at least for the defenders. So what happens is, before, what happens is your city has a combat strength, which you see on top of the city. I mean, I could just kind of use this one as an example. So right now you see 9 combat strength. So that's defending. How much the city deals in its range, like how much its range combat strength, is different, which makes it really hard to predict how much damage you'll do. It's kind of unpredictable. So now, at least for this patch, and it's likely going to be changed or tweaked or who knows what, because there's still ongoing debate, cities now use their real combat strength when resolving ranged strike damage. So, why is this a problem? Okay, so once you get walls, right? So right now I have 9 combat strength. With walls, I'll get 19. At least I think that's the way it works. I get 19 combat strength. Now, what units in Ancient Era or Classical Era has 19 combat strength? None of these. So it could literally one-shot an archer, chariot archer. It could hurt a horseman really badly. Right? Even composite bowmen, skirmishers, and catapults don't come close. And that's only plus 10, right? So 19, I'm not even counting garrisons. Garrison will only make it stronger. And then 19, this adds another 10. So now I have 29. 29 combat strength, and then let's say, and this also increases your range strike damage by 15%. So it's like 29 plus 15%, which is like 4. So that's like 33 range combat strength. 33, what do we have that comes even close to 33? Nothing. Yeah. And then if you have Himeji Castle plus another 10%, ooh, that's starting to add up. And then if you get the Arsenal plus another 15. So if you, and the irony is it actually makes fealty pretty good, because now you have plus 3 defense, which actually is both defense and offense. So in a way, that's pretty funny because that actually helps. But okay, let's say so 29 after castle. Let's say you get the Himeji, so you get 31. 31. Actually, wait, 30. Okay, yeah, let's calculate before the extra modifiers to the damage. So 31 to Himeji Castle, to the city. 31, and then that's 41. 41? Wait. Really increases strength. I don't know how they add up. But the idea is, if you go fealty, even if you don't get Himeji Castle, you get walls, you get castle, you get red fort, you complete fealty where you get 18 extra combat strength to the city. You will have something along the lines of 100, slightly above 100 combat strength. And then you get the arsenal, you get like 120 something, 110. Yeah, probably 120-ish. And then you have, wait, this doesn't increase damage. This does, so plus 15% of, let's say 100, that's basically 15 extra. So suddenly you're looking at a range of 140 combat strength, which I don't think there's a unit even. Okay, giant death robot. So basically, wait until information era before you can take that city. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. So, see, the idea is defense process bonus combat strength is not included in ours. Defense process. Oh, okay, right. So what happens is, the human player might convert production to defense, and then, right, they could finish the attack and then switch the Q to something else to deal more damage. Yeah, okay, that's understandable. Significant adjustment to city combat strength from buildings and policies included in this. Okay, right, because there are certain buildings, I don't know off the top of my head, but I know oh, they removed it. It's used to constabulary used to give. Odd. Actually, maybe this still gives it. No, that's just. I actually don't know what they changed. Oh yeah, if you get Great Wall. Oh wait, no, Great Wall doesn't. Yeah, that's a good thing. I guess some things got changed. City from buildings. I mean, buildings, I guess, are just defensive buildings. I don't recall barracks or anything like that. Yeah, no, they don't. They just give you supply, which is also very important. And generate a major reduction in the CS curve for cities from buildings with the bump ins from buildings to compensate. Wait, what? Major reduction in the CS curve for cities from buildings with a bump in the city HP from build. Okay, so instead of the combat strength being jumping really quickly and suddenly being out of control and you had to wait until information era to take it, basically you get less combat strength but you have more HP, and more HP means your city can survive longer. Got it. I mean, the concept is you still want units, right? Just a city alone is not going to survive. At least that's the idea. Cities hit harder but are also more vulnerable to direct assaults. They got a little more HP, so sieges will last about the same amount of time. However, individual attack damage will feel better. How? They have more combat strength. Oh wait, no. Right, because the combat strength of cities don't rise as quickly, suddenly your attacks will deal more damage because it's a smaller comparison. Okay. But still, I mean, people are still discussing what's the best way, so expect this to be changed, and then they behave identically to real units. Okay, and reduce city health recovery to +8 per turn was +10. Ooh, okay, that's very interesting. So this is not relevant later on, right? Later on, with higher, or at least better hitting units, you're going to deal a lot more damage. This is going to be more relevant in the early game where you have rushes, archer rushes, but they are also talking about reducing the archer range to 1 instead of 2. And I'm like, wow, archer is going to be so useless in defending. Yeah, you will need composite bowman, otherwise archers are just dead weight. I don't like the direction certain things are going, right? They're trying to fix cities and then they're also changing other units. I mean, I feel it's fine if there's an early rush. I mean, it's such a small window, but I guess some people just don't like it. Anyway, cities will probably see more changes next patch, so don't be too attached to these changes. Now, tourism. Okay, this is pretty big because the idea is you get so much tourism, at least one-time yields from various things. So first, trade routes apparently they cause some reverse domain values. I don't even know what that is, so that's a bug. I'm not even gonna delve into that. So right now, it says reduce 50% tourism via trade routes to 33%. So you have less tourism from completing trade routes. And now the bonus is not to all the civilizations known by the other player, not the sender. Okay, so if I play China and I have Morocco as a civ I send trade routes, the tourism that's given to other civs will be who Morocco knows, not who I know, right? So if I haven't met Persia but Morocco met Persia, I complete a trade route with Morocco and I get tourism. The tourism will be received by both Morocco and Persia, even though I don't know Persia. And then instant yield tourism. So things like great people, wonders have been reduced a bit, and then tourism of great works has been increased to 4 from 3, and the culture reduced from 3 to 2. So now great works generates less culture but more tourism. But there's also more to that, and I'll just skip to the buildings. So zoo now gives 1,000 tourism instead of 400 for instant tourism. And they also give +2 tourism and 1 culture per forest or jungle tile. Before it was just +1 tourism. Yeah, forest or jungle tile. I mean, I still don't feel like I worked those, but maybe I'm playing wrong. Now, here's the big thing. Museums grant great works in the city +1 tourism. So if you have a lot of great works, that's going to start to add up. And broadcast towers grants great works in a city +2 tourism. So you could get +3 tourism to each of your great works. So if you have 10, that's 30 extra tourism. So the idea is to make your per turn tourism more relevant so that you rely on that more instead of solely on instant. I like the change. I just don't know if it's enough because it still seems like a lot that you get from instant tourism yields from trade routes and all of that. But we'll see. I don't even know if I have time to play this, but we'll see. Now, units. Yeah, skirmishers, we're still adjusting it. So for skirmishers, they have something called skirmisher doctrine, which is -20 combat strength while in rough terrain and +40. Oh wait, no, that's a new one. So before it was +50% combat strength in the open and -25 in rough. Now it's +40% in open and -20 in rough. So they do a little bit more damage in rough, and they deal probably noticeable amount because right now, yeah, they hit really hard. They hit really hard when they're in open terrain. So, you know, that's still being balanced. And Naga, why was the Naga hit? I'm so confused. Naga, I think, replaces the caress, yeah. And I think it's India, but Naga, yeah, Indian. So before it was 28, now it's 27 range combat strength. Oh, so it's the same as caress here. It doesn't require horses now. It's not more powerful. I mean, unless it has, well, it has feared elephants. I guess that helps. Otherwise, it has nothing. Wait. Range, yeah. No, it feels not that good. I mean, it's available at gunpowder. It's a bit earlier, but not that much more. I mean, they're still balancing mountain range in it, so it's probably too early to tell how things are going to work. There's a lot of balancing. And right now with the city, which was a big one, that's like the big focus. And right now, helicopter gunships get +1 movement and range combat strength increased by 5. I think since they cannot use roads, right? They hover, so they cannot use roads. I think they deserve like 7 movements. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense, right? They should maneuver much easily than tanks. At least I would think so. You would hope so, right? But yeah, I feel gunship could still be buffed in movements. Everything else is fine at the moment. Now, let's get to buildings. So in addition to the zoo, museum, and broadcast tower, like the tourism changes, the other one is hydroelectric. Wait, what? Oh wait, no, I read it wrong. Hydroelectric. So instead of food, now you get gold. Okay, yeah, that's better. No, I read it backwards. I'm like, what? You get food? Why do we need food? So now you swap food, and you get +3. Wait, +3. So rivers and lake, you get +3 gold, and ocean, you get +2 gold. Honestly, it's such a late building. I don't have an opinion whether it's good or bad. Like, it's really late. Like, by the time you get to the information era, either someone's winning or you're going for the win. You might not even have time for these. Just saying. But one day I'll get to late game. But right now I don't have a good civ to work that on. Anyways, policies, right? Policies, statecrafts got changed. It's actually kind of a buff. So first, this got changed. So, wait. What? Oh, no, I thought they switched policies, but apparently they... Okay, yes. Swap spy with science from allies. Okay. So, before foreign service was +1 of every strategic resource for every 3 city-states, earn great diplomats faster, you know. And wait, did they change it? Swap spy from with science from allies on foreign services. I don't recall. I thought the science was here. Did they change it? +33% science generated by allied city-states. So now you get spies, right? Normally, I mean, I like the +1 influence. Okay, this has been changed. So first, now you get a spy from foreign service, which actually gives you a spy much sooner. If you have really good policies, you could actually get spies quite a bit before you get Renaissance era. And then right now, shadow networks, you get the 33% science generated by allied city-states. I don't recall that, but maybe I wasn't paying attention. Everything else is the same. You know, +3% capital for every active, up to 33%. So now you get spies sooner, which makes foreign service quite a bit more worthwhile to take. And this is the big one, right? 25% yields. Yeah, that's basically... Wait. Did they... I'm so confused because I thought before they had... Like, you get more yields from trade routes, right? To civs that are heading culture or science. If you send them, you actually get more yields, but I guess that got changed. At least I don't recall it. Maybe I missed it. So now Trade Confederacy, the second part is huge. It says trade routes to city routes generates influence per turn with the target city-state equal to the number of owned city-state trade routes. So what happens is, if you have 5 trade routes going to your city-states, for each of those city-states, you're gaining 5 influence per turn. That is massive. That is huge. I don't know how strong it is, but my gut feeling is saying it's quite a bit. So, and apparently, they also increase the efficiency of trade routes to city-states. So maybe you get more tourism boost with unknown civs. Or is it this one? The modifier increased by 15%. Was it 15? I think it was 15. I don't know. But overall, there are quite a few changes. There was talks of this going to gold, which means that there's a polished version. But I don't think we're getting there anytime soon. And wow, look at the length of this video. Anyways, I'm going to end the video here. Overall, the changes, I mean, there are going to be a lot of back and forth. I think it's too early to say my thoughts because a lot of it will probably change. City definitely. Mountain range units, there will probably still be some tweaks here and there. The tourism, maybe there needs to be some number adjusted. Statecraft, maybe. I mean, there's quite a few things. And if there's a nerf to archers are going to be garbage. And if you don't get composite bowman, you're stuck with a unit that is just horrible. You can't even defend yourselves well. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it, but we'll see how it develops. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you have a good one.